So hi all. Today I'm going to discuss a coding question which was asked to me in one of the interviews in Wissen Technology and Hexagon. So the question is write a program to find the occurrence of every element in the given array. Suppose the array given to me is this and I have to find the occurrence of every element. Like if I say 1 has occurred how many times in this array? Thrice. Okay. 4 has occurred how many times? Twice. So I have to print like this. 1 has occurred 3 times, 4 has occurred twice, and 2 has occurred how many times? 2 times. So 2 has occurred 2 times, and 7 has occurred how many times? 1, 7, 1, and 8 has occurred how many times? 8, 1 time. So 8, 1. So I have to print like this. Okay. So now let's start coding. First of all, let's make a class, public class, and I'm going to name this class as main. Now I'll create a main method, public static void main string args. Okay, so let's take a dummy array first. So I'm going to initialize an array of type integer. Okay, the name I'm going to give this array as ARR equal to, let's take the same set of data. Okay, so this is the initialization of the array. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this problem. I'm going to make use of HashMap. See, this question can be solved with different approaches. What approach I'm going to use in this particular question? I'm going to use HashMap in this question. So what is actually a HashMap? HashMap basically stores the data in the form of key and value pair. So like I had told you previously, I have to give the occurrence of every element. So 1 has occurred thrice. So I can make use of HashMap. Like in HashMap, I can consider the first element as the key and its occurrence as the value. Okay. So 1 is going to be the key and 3 is going to be the occurrence of that element in the array. Okay. So I'm going to initialize one HashMap here. I'm going to take HashMap is of type C. What is going to be the type of my hash map? It is going to store the key. So key is of type integer and the occurrence is also a number. So I'm going to take integer again. So hash map declaration happens like this. Integer, the data type of the key, that is integer, and the data type of the value. Okay, so I'm going to name this hash map as HM is equal to new hash map of type again integer, comma integer. Okay, so this is the declaration of the hash map. So I have declared one hash map of type integer and integer. That means it is going to store the key. Keys are going to be in integer and values are also going to be in integer. Okay. So now what I have to do is I have to iterate over every element in this array. Okay. So let's iterate. For iteration, I'm going to use a for loop. Int I equal to 0. I is less than the length of the array. So length of the array we can calculate from here. And I'm going to take a variable of type int named as length. How can we calculate the length of the array? Array dot length. So this is the method that is length, which actually calculates the length of the given array. So which array's length I'm going to calculate? The array is ARR. Okay. So now I have length of the array in this len variable. I'm going to write it here and I plus plus. Okay, now what I have to check, see, my hash map is like this, 1, 3. Okay, so currently when we are here at this point of time, the hash map is completely empty. I do not have any data in my hash map. Okay, one by one I have to populate my hash map with data. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, if my hash map is already containing the data, I just have to increment its value. Are you getting what I'm saying? See, if I say currently my hash map is containing 1 as the key and 3 as the value. So now if I ask you whether whether my hash map contains 2 as the key, I would say no. So if it is not containing the hash map, what I have to do? I have to insert that element. So 2 is not contained currently. I have to put 2 as the key in the hash map. And what value I'm going to assign to this hash map? 1. Because this is the first occurrence. This is the first occurrence of 2. That's why I'm going to assign the value as 1. If in future I encounter another occurrence of the same element, that is 2, suppose here I have encountered 2. By the time I reach here at this position, if I encounter 2 again, so now I do not need to enter the new occurrence of the same element again. Okay, what I need to do is I just need to increment its value. Okay, the current value is 1. That means so far the occurrence is 1. Since now I have got the next occurrence of the same element, I just need to increment its value by 2, by 1. So it would become 2. If I found more occurrences of the same element, I'll just increase its value. So next time it would be 3, next time it would be 4 if the element is found in there. Okay, now first of all, what I'm going to check here, as soon as I suppose the first element I encounter, I have to check whether that element is already contained in my hash map or not. So what I'm going to use is if condition, if my hash map, the name of my hash map is hm dot contains is the method to check whether the particular element is already contained in the hash map or not. By element, I mean specifically the key. Okay. So the method name is contains key. Okay, so what key I'm searching in my hash map? The key is going to be the element of the array. Okay, so the element of the array at index 0. So I can write it as the element at index I. Okay, now see if this condition is true. Suppose since initially our hash map is empty, does not have any data. So this condition is going to be false because currently the hash map is empty. I'm going to use else condition here. Else, that means if this condition is false, it would come into this else block. Okay. Now this condition is going to be false in the first iteration because the hash map is containing nothing. Since it is containing nothing, I will automatically come onto this else block. So now what I have to do in this else block, I have to insert that new element in the hash map. So what is my new element in the hash map? Obviously, a of I is going to be the is going to be the first element of my hash map. Okay. So if the element is not already contained in the hash map, I'm going to update my hash map. Okay, so I'm going to actually put this value, put this key. The key is a of I, and since it is just the first occurrence of that element, I'm going to give its value as 1. Okay, I hope it must be clear. So the now the entry has been made. What entry I have made? The first element is 1. So 1 has been stored in the hash map. And what value have I given so far? The value is 1. Initially, the value would be 1. Okay. Now, what if I find an element in the hash map which is already contained in the hash map. Suppose if I encounter any element in the array which is already there in my hash map. So this condition would be true in that case. That means hm dot contains key. That means this particular value what we are getting from a of I is already contained by that hash map. So in that case, I have to just increment its value. I do not have to make a new entry into the hash map. I just need to do what? I just need to increment its value by 1. Okay, so how I can do that? So I would say hm dot put what I have to put? The same thing that is a of I. Okay, I have to put a of I. Now, before incrementing the current value of that key, first I have to know what is the current value of that key, right? Before incrementing the value of the key, first I have to know what is actually the current value of that key. So how do we get to know the value of a particular key in a hash map? We can get to know that by the help of dot get method. Okay. So with the help of this get method, I can actually get what? The value placed at this particular key. Okay. So suppose initially the value of 1 was 1. So after this particular code that is hm.get a of I is 1. Okay. So what is the value? I can get it, the value 1, I can get it with the help of this code. Okay. So the current value is 1. Now what I have to do in this value, I have to just increment this value by 1. Okay. So my value would get incremented by 1. And after execution of this code, my value would become 2. Okay. Now I think I have done all the cases in this hash map. Now what I'm left with is I have to just print this hash map now and check whether it is giving the correct output or not. Okay, so for printing, I have to make use of for loop obviously. So to iterate over the hash map, we have some definition. Let me tell you. So what I'm going to do, hash map dot entry. Okay, entry means one particular set, key and value pair. Okay, this is entry. So what type of entry I'm referring to? The entry is obviously integer, comma, integer only, because my hash map definition is this only, integer, comma, integer. So hash map dot entry, I'm going to have one variable that is I, and what I have to iterate it over? What I have to iterate it over? What is my hash map? hm dot, I have one method that is entry set. Okay. Now what I'll do is, see, at the first execution, this I would be containing what? This I would be containing one particular set of that hash map. The first particular set of hash map, that is 1 and its corresponding value. So now what I need to print? I need to print the key as well as its value. So how I can do that? I'm going to make use of system.out.println. Okay, so what is the key? How can I get the key? This is the set. Okay, this is the complete set which is containing the key as well as uh value. Okay, so how I can get its key from this set? How I can get the key out of this set? So I can make use of dot get key method. Get key would get me the key at that particular instance. So I dot get key would get me the key. Now I have to give one space. and correspondingly I have to print the value also of that key. So I would use now get value. Okay, so I hope it would work. Let's compile it and run. So I am getting one. Oh, sorry, I did not remove this. I made mistakes. Still getting errors. Let's check. Oh, I did not include the hash map. Import java.util.hashmap. Sorry, the name of the array is also not A, but array. Sorry, error. Let's make these corrections. Yeah, I hope it works now. One more, please. Yeah. Now we can observe one has occurred thrice. Let's check if it has occurred thrice. Yes, one, one, one. Now two has occurred how many times? Two. Yeah, we are getting two. Now four has occurred how many times? Twice. Yes. Now seven has occurred once. Eight has occurred once. Great. We can try some other input. Comma 8, comma 8. Yeah, we are getting the correct output. Yeah. I hope you must have liked this. Thank you.